Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get my podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen to? And how do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of those questions is really simply Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, guys, it is 100% free, and it's ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to do your podcast. I record my podcast, The Live Past Crazy Show, in my own time when I'm comfortable. I love that it's on my phone, and it doesn't require a lot of extra equipment. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. Again, that's anchor.fm/start, and I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hello guys, and welcome to the Live Past Crazy Show. My name is Yanmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist, so what better place to be than here with me. I truly appreciate you taking the time out, guys, to listen to my podcast. I greatly appreciate you. It's my sincere hope that whatever I share is something that you can use to help you and somebody you know to live past crazy. I'm an extreme firm believer that if we can change one person who can change their family, who can change their community, we will change the world. I am a believer of that. All right, guys. Today's show is actually a replay from the Live Past Crazy morning show, the Fearless Morning Show on Monday, December the 10th. And I talked about mental detox and the importance of it. And during this holiday season, maybe you need to take the time to do a mental detox and what that looks like for you. So I encourage you to take it seriously. Mental health is extremely important. So take a listen to the show. I would love to hear your thoughts.
Confessions and conversations. This weekend, I did a little work, but I did a mental detox this weekend. I did not talk to anybody. I did not answer my phone. I was on social media where I was, commenting on posts and, that sort of thing. But interacting with people was zero all weekend long, from Friday to yesterday. I even talked to my family via text, and they were getting snowed in, and I talked to them a couple times to make sure everybody was alive and well. But I did a mental detox this weekend, and please understand how, because you guys know I'm so serious about your mental health. As the only Live Past Crazy specialist, I talk about that a lot, and it is key, because until you are ready to change your mindset and receive something different in your mind, you're going to keep repeating the same thing. And I've been talking all week, last week, about purpose partners and who I'm looking for and what I'm willing to give and all those things. And so this weekend, I took the time to do a mental detox. That meant I was quiet. There was no TV. There were no children. There was no leaving of the house. I truly sat in a room with my thoughts and was quiet. I did some reading. I read the Bible. I read a book that I was wanting to read. But most of my time was spent in silence, thinking about what had happened the past year, where I wanted to go, and how I wanted to do that. And sometimes we need to have a mental detox, and I'll tell you why. Because if you, and it doesn't, you don't even have to be a giver. This is for anybody. When you go through, it's the end of the year, and you have went this entire year, and you have give, people have taken, you just, extended yourself in every area, and it seems like you have nothing left to give, and it's the holiday season. So now it's more stressful, because now you got the gifts and you got people coming, and you got the, more interaction with your family, and you can be at your max mentally, but you have not taken the time to do a mental detox. And my friends, please understand, you need some time away for that mental detox. let me tell you how important my mental detox is for me. Sometimes it requires, if I know I'm not going to be able to get the quiet time that I need at home, like the girls are just on 10,000, or even that I know that I'm going to be tempted to do other things, I will check into the hotel for the weekend. And before I had money and hey, who am I to have to even go spend a weekend in a hotel? I would take a night at a hotel, $50, 60, 75, whatever. I wasn't far. I was down the street at the local hotel. I get me a room and I was sitting there, and that's where I would do my mental detox. I would write out the things that frustrated me, and I would think about what frustrated me, how I allowed it to frustrate me, and what I was going to do about it going forward. And sometimes we need that quiet time. You need that time to yourself, because you cannot keep giving and you're not receiving anything back. Or even if you're receiving it back, sometimes you still need that mental break. I needed a break from wearing all the hats. Mama hat is the heaviest hat. I think they all heavy, but a single parent mommy hat will tear you down. If you're caring for a sick parent, it will wear you down. If you have a spouse and you add on top of that, it will wear you down. And your mental health is like, when my father, I knew my mental health was important. Well, I always knew it. But when my father passed away, oh my Lord, that's when I realized that I need to start taking some time for my mental health and decide what I want to do. Because, dealing with the sick parent is hard enough. And then you live far away. And then you get the phone call that your father's passed away or had an accident. The stress on first of all, you don't breathe. And a lot of us, we don't breathe throughout the day. You may think you're breathing, but you're actually holding your breath. And y'all know we talked about that meditation last month, where we talked about deep breathing and how to actually do that. And so you're not breathing, so your brain's not getting that full oxygen. So you're really your brain is not thinking clearly because it's deprived of oxygen. Your organs not working correctly because they're deprived of oxygen. That's my little brain science right there. And so you got all the stress and you're not breathing. And then here comes a crisis. And, my father passed away. Well, then you go through all the trauma of burying your father. Well, then you have to redefine life again because you can't call daddy. And then I was blessed to have 3 fathers. And so the man who raised me my whole life passed away. And then it was a year later, my biological father passed away. And 3 years later. It was exhausting. And the mental work that you have to do to continue to redefine your life takes work. If you lose a parent, you are redefining your life without a parent. It's hard. It is so hard. Now, I do have a stepfather, and he's ill, and to help take care of an ill parent is hard enough. And to support, another family member who is a caretaker, it's exhausting. And so sometimes, guys, and this is my confession and conversation, you got to do a mental detox. And it is not being selfish to take time to do so, especially during this holiday period. You may say, JoJo, I do not have time. And this is, again, my confession. This is where stress and not doing a mental detox will have you. I was going through yet another divorce. My daddy died. And the kids were on 10,000. My family was 300 miles away. I was trying to finish my PhD. I had all 5 of those going on, not to mention trying to work and, the stress of that and the pay bills and everyday life. And I woke up one Sunday morning and I felt it on Saturday. I couldn't quite catch my breath. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And that Sunday morning, I called a friend. I said, hey, come pick up the girls and take them to Sunday school and the church. I'm going to the hospital because I can't breathe. I don't know what's going on, but I'm having trouble breathing and my whole body just felt heavy. And he was my husband at the time. He came actually and to check on me. He was like, you don't look good. So they physically had to carry me out of the house to the emergency room, and they ended up admitting me into the hospital, and I was in there for a little over a week. And when I tell you that I had every test known to man done. They did spinal taps, they did blood tests, I was on oxygen, and all they knew to tell me, Miss Waddell, is that your organs are shutting down, and we have no idea why. We don't know why you're having trouble breathing. There is nothing in your blood work to suggest that there's any virus, any illness. You don't have cancer. There's absolutely nothing scientifically that we can put our hands on. But because they didn't know, my children were not allowed in to see me. Everybody, if you came in, you had to suit up, face mask, bodysuit, and everything to come into my room. And I'm laying in the bed, and technically the only person I saw besides the doctor was a nurse who came in to give me a shot in my stomach so I didn't get blood clots. And they had no idea what was wrong. And at the end of the day, on my 5th day there, the doctor came in and he said, Miss Waddell, there's nothing wrong with you. You are stressed out. Because at this point, they've sent a counselor in to talk to me. And when I started talking about the things I had going on, and the counselor's like, yeah, I think you have a lot of stress going on and you got to take time for yourself. And of course, my answer was, who got time for that? I don't have time to take for myself. I got 2 kids. I got a husband I'm trying to divorce. I'm trying to finish the PhD program. My mom and them is 345 miles away. They need help with things. I'm trying to do this. And I got to work. I got to pay the bills. Who got time to take time for themselves? And that lady said, well, if you don't take time for yourself, they will be taking time to bury you. And then you're going to have all the time in the world to take care of yourself. And she nicely left me with those thoughts. And the doctor came in and said, stress is killing you. And that's why your organs are shutting down. And that's why you can't breathe. And it was at that point that I realized how serious my mental space was. I knew it was serious when I left my abuser. And I went to counseling then, but then I just kept adding on to it. And I never really did a full mental detox. Good morning, Ms. Kimberly. Mental health is essential. And so sometimes you've got to do a mental detox. So that's what I did this weekend. There was no talking to the families. There was no talking to friends. There was no talking to anybody. No TV. There was no nothing. I was quiet. That meant I took the time to have the bubble bath. I took the time to do whatever it is JoJo wanted to do to renew my mind. And that meant writing out again. And so this is what I do. And you guys you can take whatever practice you choose. I wrote out what I was frustrated about, what frustrated me, what aggravated me about the year, some of my behaviors that I did that were not aligned to who I was. Good morning, Mr. Lawrence. How you doing? And I took the time. Y'all know what? You got to be honest with yourself. I took the time to be honest with myself about situations that I did not like the outcome and then I had to come up with a decision. What was I going to do about it? Because once you are aware, then you've got to decide what you're going to do about it. So my mental detox was, okay, JoJo, this is a problem. What are you going to do about it? And it requires putting your big girl panties on. But the first step to live past crazy, there's 5 key foundations. The first one is to be quiet. And so that meant I was quiet. I was praying. I was trying to listen. I was reading my Bible. I was reading some inspirational books. And I was getting my mind right and mentally detoxing, taking away the things that no longer served me. Right, Miss Margaret, you got to be honest, because here's what I know. And I tell you guys what I know, without a shadow of doubt. If you do not take no time to be quiet, if you don't do the mental detox, if you are not honest with yourself, you will continue to be crazy. You will continue to be stressed. There is no way around it. It's never going to stop. You will meet the same man. You will marry the same man. You will divorce the same man. You will have the same friends. You will always be broke. You will have the same job. You will live in the same place. And your routine will continue every single day, and it will not stop. Yes, it's a mental job more than anything else. Absolutely. And you cannot feel guilty about it. I did not feel one iota guilty about anything that I did this weekend. I did one thing for a kid this weekend, and she had a project, and I said, I'm going out, And I was clear, these are the 2 stores I'm going to. And sister, if you can't find it in these 2 stores, I'm sorry. So let me tell you how creative a kid can get when they know they only got 2 options. And with that, I was back in the house with my mental detox, being quiet. And it's not to hurt anybody's feelings that I didn't talk to them. It's not to say I was being rude, but I had to take time. If you do not take time for yourself, who will? Because eventually, if you do not, we'll be standing over you saying, oh, that young Mitra, I miss her. No, ma'am. No, we won't be doing that. Not because I was not willing to do the work, to do the mental work, to be free of whatever is stressing you out. Living past crazy happens every single day. Yes, sometimes, and this is what I know, I live past the crazy of the abuse, and I live past the crazy of that. It doesn't mean that my everyday crazy doesn't go away. It just simply means I now have the tools to work it faster. Because before, when I was living in crazy, it took me a long time. That's where the depression set in, and the crying, and trying to kill yourself. That's where all that set in, because I wasn't willing to do the work. Right? Right. I didn't even call in. I didn't talk on Friday after the morning show. My detox started right then. I talked to my mother. I talked to my Aunt D, and I did not open my mouth anymore at work. They was like, Louise. So they call me Louise at work. Louise, are you okay? You're normally not this quiet. What's going on? Nothing. I drank my tea. I drank my water. I did my work. And I minded my business because I was determined to do that mental detox. And it started on Friday. I was determined to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's exactly what I did. And you cannot feel bad about wanting that in your life. And sometimes you're not going to get it at home. You're not going to get that mental quietness in your house when you got 10,000 people calling you mama. People calling your name, wife, honey, whatever. And here's the rule in my house. After I went past crazy, first couple of times my children learned the rules. When I walk in the house and I put my hand up in the air, I say, nope, I can't do it. They know at that I'm calling the shots from there on, that I'm saying mentally I can't handle anything else. The day has stressed me out. People have stressed me out, and I've reached my limit of peopling for today. I've reached my mental capacity for the day, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's healthy when you can admit that you have nothing extra left to give anybody. And so what I do when I can't do a full mental weekend is I go get in the shower. And if y'all know my story, y'all know the shower is my happy place. And I stand there in the shower. And I just stand there till all the water is cold. And then if I can't stay there, and if I can't stand the cold, then I get out and I still stay in the bathroom. I don't come out until I feel better. And one of my mantras is, and I always close my show with this, is I stand in the mirror and I say, I look good. I feel good. I am good. And sometimes you got to remind yourself, because if you don't, who's going to do it? And then when I come out the shower, I've left whatever, I've allowed the water to rinse off whatever stresses I've had of the day, whatever frustration. Miss Margaret, please understand, if I could get to the beach, I would. I probably wouldn't come home. Y'all have to come and get me. I would do that because water is my happy place. And when I come out, I'm better. I have a better attitude, because what I find is if I keep forcing it, if I reach my mental capacity for the day, right, stop bragging, Miss Margaret, we want to be at the beach. If I reach my mental capacity for the day and I know that, and I choose to ignore it and I keep going, I'm going to fuss at a kid. I'm going to yell at them, and they're not going to know why. Everything they do is going to aggravate me to the umpteenth power. And then when they try to fix it, they're not going to do it fast enough. I'm going to yell even harder because they're not doing the 10 things I told them to do that I want done right now. Right? And then I'm going to be mad because my mama and my sister called me. Then I'm mad at them and they have no idea why I'm mad. Well, then I'm mad at my friend because they aggravate me because they said something. And do you see how it continues down the line because you didn't have the capacity to recognize when you've reached your limit for the day? So mental detox, guys, is essential, and especially during this holiday season. Don't feel bad when you have to say, hey, I need a break from my family this here day, or I need a break from people this day. Sometimes I ride to work in silence. There's no phone, there's no video, there's no radio. Right, Miss Kimberly, you look yourself, and that was a hard thing for me. When I left my abuser, I never looked myself in the mirror. I didn't turn on the lights. Like, I didn't turn on the lights to brush my teeth, to wash my face. I refused to look at myself in the mirror, because when I did, all I heard was his words: you're fat, you're ugly, you're never going to be anybody, nobody's going to love you. And that's all I saw. No matter what other people told me, that's what I saw. And so until I started replacing my words over his, I couldn't see it. So I had to stop looking in the mirror. The road I traveled to get to live at the beach. Hey, please understand, when I tell y'all I'm retiring to Costa Rica I'm 43. I said by 45, or did it 48? One of those numbers. Either way, I'm on it. Please understand, I am on it. But that mental detox, especially guys on this fearless journey, as we're trying to change our lives, and we're changing our circle, and we're challenging what we know. And that's the hard thing. You're challenging what you've known, or what you've been taught your entire life, 43 years. What have I been taught? What have our parents showed us over 43 years, over a lifetime, that we continue to live? That's not true to us. We live it because mom and them told us to. Right, they told us to be scared of ourselves. That's right. And you cannot be scared of your greatness. And I think a lot of times we stay where we are. We deal with what we have to deal with because we are afraid of our greatness. And we know that if we live in what we are true to, if we live in the calling that God has placed on our lives, our family would think differently about us. And we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and we don't want them to think differently about us. And so we don't live in our greatness. We don't live in who we are. We live in less than, we live in lack, so that we can appease our parents, our friends, and our loved ones. But deep down in our core, we're angry about it. We're mad about it, because we're not living who we are, but because we want to please our family, because we don't want to go against mom and them. We live that. And you may look up and you may be 60 years old, 65, and you like, wow, this is not my life. I have no idea why I'm here. I have no idea why I do all of these things when it's not who I am. Today, you can stop that. Do your mental detox today. It doesn't matter your age. Please don't use age as an excuse, because that's all it is, an excuse. You can do and live however you want. If that means today you do that mental detox so that tomorrow you can do something that's true to who you are, do the one thing that's going to make your soul happy, then do the work. Guess what I found out? And this is true confessions and conversation. What I found out is that when I decided to live who I was, true to my, like, for real, JoJo, for real. Yep, my mom and them said, who do you think you are? They didn't say it like that. They just kept me different. And they just treated me different. But guess what? I was okay with them treating me different, because who I was here, in here, felt so much better. Oh my, the stress came off when I decided to be true to who I was. I wasn't stressed out, because when we're trying to live somebody else's truth, somebody else's life, then baby, we're stressed out. That's why I'm in the hospital and nobody knows. And that's why my organ's shutting down, because I'm living Yamitra, JoJo, Louise, Waddell, Burgess, whatever last name I'm living all of that for everybody else, and nothing that's true to who I am. And I realized laid up in that hospital, you better figure it out, because others clearly have no problem with you living their lives. They're not going to stop you from living their life. They will not stop you. In fact, they will encourage you. They're going to encourage you to stay where you are. They're going to encourage you to live where you are. They're going to encourage you to continue to stay on the job that you hate, because that's what you do. You work at a job that you hate because you need stability, because you need to take care of your family. And you will find is that they're going to encourage you to continue to do the same things when inside you are screaming that you want out. And until that scream actually gets out, they're going to assume that you're okay living their life. So at some point, you got to realize you got to live your life. That mental detox is so essential. It's so important. It's life changing. It's life altering. And so I encourage you to take, if you can't take a weekend because the kids are crazy, because there's too much in your household, it may require you, please don't, Kim, please don't upset the neighbors. So, like me, I couldn't, when my children were smaller and I needed a mental detox, I couldn't leave them because they were smaller. But what I could do is and this became my ritual, when I put the kids to bed at 8, from 8 to 9:30 was my time. I didn't talk on the phone. I did whatever JoJo wanted to do. I painted my nails. I did my hair. I looked at a magazine. I sat in silence. I did whatever I needed to do to click, because you're not going to be any good to anybody if you continue on the way you are. Yes, I will strengthen my voice by speaking my truth. Y'all know that quote is on my desk. I strengthen my voice by speaking my truth. And if you do not speak your truth, you will not strengthen your voice. It will get smaller. You will eat it. You will get sick. Your stomach will hurt. You will have migraines. Your shoulders will hurt. Your back will hurt. You will hate everybody. The food won't taste the same. You're not going to like your friends. Everybody's going to irritate you. And you can't tell me, JoJo, it's not that serious. I'm a living witness. It is that much serious. It is that serious. And if you don't realize, if you don't think about it, it becomes your habit. It becomes your life. But when you stop and do a mental detox, like, why am I really doing that? Why do I really, really feel this way? Then you're going to, and you're honest with the answer, because my mama told me I had to live this way when I was 13, and I just assumed at 45 I still need to live this way. Or because my family said this is how it's supposed to go, so I got to do what they say. Right, Miss Margaret, your time. Joyce Meyer's Battlefield of the Mind. When I tell you that book saved my life from destruction. It saved my life from, I'm telling you, the Battlefield of the Mind. Please read that book, and in it there are different sections of your mental health that are essential. Right. If you could get it is not being selfish to take time for yourself. It is not. You are being selfish when you force all of that anger and frustration on your friends and your family. Then you're being selfish because you're not taking into the account what you are doing to them. And then you are projecting all of that frustration and anger onto your children. And they are watching you, and they assume if mama reacts this way to a situation, that's the way it is. And that, my friend, is how generational curses occur. That's how we build generations of angry women, angry men, angry family members. I'm just saying, right? Decide, commit, act, and succeed. And you got to be committed. I committed myself to mental health a long time ago, because I knew if I didn't, everybody was okay with me going crazy because it wasn't them going crazy. It wasn't them. And going crazy can be whatever. It can be defined however you want it to be defined. You know, your crazy doesn't have to be my crazy. Your crazy could be you still a people pleaser. You still working in the church. You still doing this, but it doesn't make your soul happy. Right. And let me tell y'all, as I close out the show, I'm sharing one more confession. Where I grew up at the age of 12 was when I really first started going to church. And Minister Kim is on here. She took me to her and Louise took me to my first Bible study, prayer meeting, Bible study. I remember let me tell you how important it was. I remember what I wore. I wore a pink sundress, and Kim picked me up. I think it was Kim. Yes. And no, Louise, and said, baby, we don't have to dress up for that. Well, I'd never been to church. I didn't know. So I went to church, and we had Bible study, and, I went on, and then I became so engrossed in the church. I worked, and you can ask anybody in my home church, I worked everything in the church, from president of the usher board to missionary. I'm a deaconess. I've done everything till I ended up being the first lady. I've done every work. And then I got so caught up with being a worker in the church. Okay. that I had to be a worker. And I got used to having that title of being a worker. Well, then I got divorced and I was no longer a first lady and all the work went away. And then I found another church that was so massive and so big, I couldn't find my way. I wanted to work, but I couldn't find where I was supposed to work. And then it was there I realized I had to sit down, be quiet, learn some more. And then when I learned more and I felt like I was ready to work, I still couldn't put my hands on it. And then that's when I realized, and Jesus told me, is we try to put him in the little box on Sunday. We try to define him in the AME Zion Church. We try to define him in the non-denominational church. We try to define God in this when he is not definable. We can't shape him. We can't put him into anything. And then when I realized that, then it became easier for me to find out and figure out the work I was to do, how I was to serve, who I was to serve, when I was to serve, and to continue to keep learning. And I was trying to put God in a little box. And so that's my confession for church, because that drove me crazy too. Because I felt like, well, I grew up doing all of these things and working in the church. Why can't I? And then when I took it away and did the mental detox of it, I was stressing myself out when clearly the good Lord did not want me to do all of that, but I took it upon myself to do it anyway. So now I'm stressed out for the church when the good Lord did not want me to do all of that. He simply told me, if you just be quiet and listen, I'm going to tell you where to go. But because I was so busy working and so busy doing other things, I couldn't hear that and I couldn't figure that out. Mental detox, y'all, is essential to your health. It is essential to your well-being, and not only for you, but for those around you. You can't love anybody else. Miss Margaret, I was addicted. Let me tell you. Let me tell you how addicted I was. I married a preacher, got divorced, and said, Jesus, y'all know how we pray, Father God, help me. I'm never going to marry a preacher again. And you give Jesus that whole list of what you not fixing to do. And then I married another preacher. Then I was like, Lord, didn't I tell you I didn't want to? But I was addicted to the work and I was addicted to church. And then when I figured that out and I got it together for myself, then my friends, when you get your mental game together, your life will change. You will no longer have the stresses that you deemed necessary before, because right now you are deeming all those stresses necessary. Your mom and them stressing you out. Your cousin them, the ladies at work, the people in traffic, the kids, the husband, the wife. You deem all of that necessary when what is necessary is your mental health. And then when you realize, I don't have to take that on, I don't have to shoulder that, then you are free to live your life. Then you are free to love. Then you are free to give, because you're thinking you're giving now. You're not really giving. You're giving half of what you could, the potential of what you could be given, because the other half of you is so stressed out, is so caught up in what you think you should be doing that you're not really doing what you want to be doing. Yep. Those addictions. Exactly. Until we learn that, Miss Margaret, that we are enough, and that's a hard lesson to learn in and by itself. So if you cannot get away for the weekend, check into a little, and let me tell you, my hotel was the Holiday Inn down the street. It wasn't nothing fancy, boo. I ate at the McDonald's that sat right beside it. I walked to it. I didn't get in my car. I called and checked on the children. As they got older, I was able to do that. I called and checked on the kids. Y'all all right? Literally, I was maybe 5 minutes away. But I knew that if I did not take that mental time for myself, I was not going to be a good mother. I couldn't give to anybody else. I couldn't do anything else. If you can't do a weekend, do a day. If you can't do a day, make that mental time your hour to work, your commute time to work. Make it your commute time when you go home. Make it your lunch break. Whatever you have to do to figure that out for you to get clear on it. Right. Hey, you think I'll get in the car in a minute and drive down the street. And y'all know what else I love to do? If I can't do anything else, I go to the park. I get in my swing. Y'all know I love to swing. And I swing my troubles away. You hear me? I get in that swing. I don't care how many kids are waiting in line. Miss Joe is not moving until I feel better. I don't care about them kids. Nope, you should have been here in line first. And I will sit in that swing, honey, hips hurting, thighs hurting, until I feel better. I will swing back and forth until I feel better. Your mental health. I can't help nobody. I can't be the Live Past Crazy specialist. I can't be or do anything unless I take the time for my mental health. Your mental health is essential. And please pay attention to the people who are crying out for you for help that say, and here's how you know. They always complaining, or they hate their life so much that they have the sight of, they can't even possibly comprehend that their life could be any different than what it is. That's when you know that they need a little help. And your mental health, and once you get your mental health together, then you can tell somebody else how to get their mental health together. Then you can help a friend. Then you can bring them in. And it takes absolutely nothing to reach out to somebody and say, you okay, sister? And if you know they're not okay, don't take that, yeah, girl, I'm all right. Sometimes I just need you to call and say, hey, JoJo, you okay? I may say nothing at first, but if you're quiet, give me a time to think about it. Hey, are you a safe person I can share this with? Then I'm going to share my stresses with you. You're done. Oh, that's sweet. Me and my daddy used to do stuff like that. For me, it was my Uncle Joe. We used to drink coffee on the front porch like that. Your mental health, guys, is essential. You can't be great at who you want to be without your mental health being intact. I'm a firm believer and a fan of counseling every day of the week. So please seek you a counselor. I'm a friend of finding that close friend, and understand this, that you can talk to that's not going to participate in your pity party. Because sometimes it's a pity party. Right. You need to hold. You can't be a good parent if you're on 10,000 all the time. You're teaching your children to be on 10,000. You can't be a good worker because you're on 10,000. Your mental and your job has required mental health days. Don't let me put my HR hat on. Go take your mental health day. It's okay. You deserve it. Not only you deserve it, your life depends on it. But don't be like I was, laid up in the hospital for a week and a half, dying, organs shutting down, on oxygen. Here I am, 38. Why am I on oxygen? 35. Why am I on oxygen? Why can't I breathe? Why am I over here contemplating how I'm going to tell my kids I'm about to die because I'm stressed out? No, boo. And here's the thing. As I close out the show, I said I was closing out, but I felt like somebody needed that in this holiday season. If you need it, please make sure you share this video with somebody. If you need to talk to somebody, call me. I am for sure not a counselor. Please understand. But I've been there from depression to suicide to I can't see my way to maybe it might get better to okay, now I can see it's going to be okay. I've been through every spectrum. So tell me about it. Miss Margaret has taken over. I used to do JoJo, what was that? Application Wednesday with JoJo. Now it's Miss Margaret. Go on over there to Margaret in the morning and get your job, your life right. Go on over there. But guys, take the time. If you need somebody, please reach out to me. I'm available. Send me a message. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to be an awkward kind of thing. It can simply be, JoJo, this is what's on my mind. Hey, sometimes we don't ask for help because we assume that we have to be formal with the asking. We have to be formal with how we do it. No, boo. When you want help, you'll do something about it. And it simply takes sending a message or calling somebody that says, hey, I just need to talk. I don't even know what I want to talk about. I don't even want to know what I want to say. I don't even know why I'm feeling like I'm feeling. And you just want to communicate that? Call me. Send me a message. I got you, boo. These holiday season, we got to be careful because this is where you can get caught up. Your mental health is essential. And the Bible says we got to renew our mind daily. Mental health is essential. I promise you. And if you don't have it, you will drive yourself crazy. You will frustrate your children, your family, and then you will start building a generation of children who are on 10,000. So, right, Miss Margaret, we're gonna hashtag change the world. I'm an absolute firm believer of that. Guys, please make sure you share the show. Miss Lynn Demons is on, who America's #1 rebound coach. Yes, she said America's #1. Apparently she's in Facebook jail and can't join us. But if you want to talk to Lynn about your finances, how not to live crazy in your finances, get your budget toolkit for the new year for this Christmas holiday, bit.ly/talk to Lynn. That's capital LYNN. That's 2 N's on there. Please reach out to her so that you can get that information. Her website is demonsenterprise.com. No demons over here, she says. That's demons. So make sure you check her out, guys. Please share this video because sharing is caring. Mental health is essential. When I tell you this was not my topic for today, I had a whole other topic, but the good Lord knew that somebody might need to hear this. So do that mental detox. Take that time for yourself. Take today and be quiet. Watch what happens when you're quiet. Watch what happens when you stop talking so much. People are going to notice and they're going to assume something is wrong. You do not have to explain yourself, boo. Like me, I let my family know. And some of my friends who have been friends with me, like my friend Tiffany, we've been friends over 20 years. When I get in my mood where I don't, and sometimes it lasts not just a weekend, it may last a week or 2 weeks, where I don't talk to any of my friends. And I will text them. Now I text them. Before I would never answer my phone. Now I text them. I say, don't feel like talking. Call you when I can. And I don't talk to anybody. Period. And I keep quiet because you know something wrong. You just don't want to do the work of the answer. So you know that you may be stressed out. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to take on everybody's frustration? Or are you going to take it seriously? Thank you, Miss Margaret. Your mental health is essential. Take that hour today. Take your lunch break. And a lot of times we don't take it because we don't like being with ourselves. Because if we're honest with ourselves, we don't like who we are, who we become. We don't like the things we say. We don't like the things we're doing. We don't like where we live. We don't like our job. We don't like so much of ourselves. It's easier to crowd ourselves with noise of the day, complaining, the car, the radio, the kids. It's easy to pack all of that stuff into us than to peel it off and deal with us. You gotta like you, boo. And if you don't like you gonna, please understand, take it from me, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. Crazy will continue. Y'all gonna be best friends, married to it, lived up with it, sleeping, eating it. All of it. It's going to be sitting right there with you. Never going to leave. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, please make sure you send them over to our YouTube channel. If you type in Fearless Morning Show, Lynn and I's faces will show up. And they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows. Last night I did load all the Fearless Morning shows over there. So I think I was only missing 3. So we might be at 264 Fearless Morning shows over there. So go over there and watch them. Give the gift of somebody living past crazy for the holiday season. You can do that. Be that friend for somebody. If you know somebody who's living in crazy and you don't want to send them over here with me, then send them a video or you sit down and you talk to them. And if it's you, please today take that mental health day. It's okay to get to know you. It's okay. I like me, myself, and I. We have a great time. All 3 of us. We have fun all the time. All right, guys.
All right, guys, that is it for the Live Past Crazy show. That was a replay from this Monday, December the 10th, on Mental Health Detox. I hope that you enjoyed the show. I will record the next show live. I just felt like the past 2 have been so important and so much great information has been shared that it needed to be heard again. Mental health is essential. Thank you again for listening to the Live Past Crazy show with me. I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist, Yamitra JoJo Waddell. So what better place to be than here with me? And I'm truly thankful that you spent your time with me. If you would like to know more about why I know crazy and about this journey, I invite you to check out my website, livepastcrazy.com. That is our new website, livepastcrazy.com, as well as follow me on all social media. Jan Mitra is my tag for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm the only one out there. That's JANMETRA. I also invite you to join us live on the Fearless Morning Show weekdays at 7:15 a.m. Again, all you have to do is just type in the Fearless Morning Show by name, or you can type in my name and we will be there. As a result of working with the only Live Past Crazy specialist, individuals are able to identify the crazy in their lives and develop a specific blueprint to begin to live past crazy. Do you know anybody who needs to live past crazy? That's what I'm looking for. Then send them over my way, because I promise you, there is life after crazy. Have a great day. Until next time, guys.